Welcome to Jarring Everything. I'm Sam Payon, and we're filming right here in my Sonoma production kitchen. With the help of my friend Roy, we've warmed up this industrial space with flowers from my farmer friends, and of course, the most beautiful produce Sonoma has to offer. My goal with this series is simple: to show approachable ways to think about ingredients differently. In a time where so much feels uncertain, learning how to create your own shelf-stable foods is more than a kitchen skill. It's a powerful, hopeful act. You'll notice what I call my general-ish percentages. Fermentation works anywhere from 2 to 5% salinity, but I still use a gram scale to keep it simple and approachable. Together, we will ferment, pickle, and preserve what's in season, and explore how these traditions can nourish us in new ways. This is my kitchen, my community, and my home. Welcome in. Welcome back to Jarring Everything, our hyper-seasonal outlook on preservation. I'm Sam Payon, and here in Sonoma, we're surrounded by incredible seasonal produce. My goal is to show you how to capture those flavors so you can enjoy seasonal flavors all year round. This time, we're talking tomatoes. Whether red, green, or golden, they offer endless ways to preserve. My station is clean, jars are sanitized, and I'm ready to get started. First on our list today is a tomato vinegar. By fermenting tomato juice into alcohol and then to vinegar, you create a product that can last forever. Think of it like red wine vinegar, but with the brightness and depth of a tomato. Tomatoes and sugar goes into our blender and then poured into our jar to ferment. We're going to start with a little batch of pre-made vinegar into our sanitized jar, just to kind of jumpstart and help inoculate that fermentation. That's plenty. This gets processed down with the sugar. Vinegar likes oxygen, so we're not going to cover this with a lid. Instead, perfect, we're going to take a piece of cheesecloth and cover it as though it was a lid with tape, just like this, on the outside, so the air can come and go as it pleases. After a couple days, I will mix it up and kind of incorporate more air up into it, introducing more oxygen. This is a batch that I started 2 weeks ago. As you can see, the fermentation is providing some of that lactic acid to bubble and start creating carbonation. That's proof that the sugars are being eaten and it's working. After about 5 weeks, you'll start to see this gelatinous film start to form on the surface. That's called the mother, and it's proof that the sugars are being transformed. Vinegar has been used as a preservative and a tonic for thousands of years. The word itself comes from the French vinagre, meaning sour wine. Tomato vinegar is like bottling summer in a tangy liquid form. You could splash into salad dressings or marinades for meats and vegetables, or use in cocktails, or swap it out for a citrusy Bloody Mary or shrub. Next up on the list are fermented green tomato wedges. Next up on the list are fermented green tomato wedges. The first step is to make a salt-brine. We'll roughly use a 4% brine today. So for this 16-ounce jar, I'll probably need about 8 ounces of total brine. That math has us using about 9 grams of salt for the 8 ounces of distilled water. This is the important step here. closing this up and really making sure that this salt dissolves. Making sure we're actually able to create a salt brine that helps fermentation live and thrive through aging. On to cutting our green tomato wedges. Remove the stems and that dried spot that stems out before cutting them. And at these sizes, I think like 6 or 8 pieces are appropriate. Just making sure that we're keeping sizing consistent so fermentation happens uniformly at the same rate. Fermented tomatoes, like cucumbers, become probiotic rich thanks to the lactic acid bacteria. They're not only preserved, but they also support gut health while adding complex flavors. Before they ripen, green tomatoes are perfect for fermentation. Brined with dill, garlic, and a little chili and salt, these wedges develop a tang and spice. A little bit of chili flake. Not much, I want these to be a little bit soft. Properly stored later on, these can last up to 2 years. This cheesecloth goes right on top, protecting all of that solid green tomatoes from any unwanted bacteria. This gets lightly top close together and set aside for about 7 to 10 days. These are great diced into salsa or gazpacho or added to for a surprise in your tartar sauce, dredged in cornmeal and fried. A true Southern classic, fried green tomatoes with just a little extra depth from fermentation. The dehydrator is ready, olive oil's on hand, and now we're working on semi-dehydrated early girl tomatoes. We will cut these in half, toss with a small amount of extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper, and thyme. Early girls are beloved in California because they thrive in very dry conditions. It intensifies their sweetness, and they've become almost cult-like status among tomato lovers. Olive oil, salt, and pepper. When this is all coated, I'll set these up on the dehydrator, cut side up, so as they dry, they don't lose any of that flavor. They'll just have them stuck inside those little bowls of tomato. This goes into our dehydrator at about 180 degrees for about 20 hours. We want them 50%-ish shriveled up. We still want those plump nuggets. And then here. These are great, layered on crostini with fresh cheese and herbs, or tossed into pastas, frittatas, or Mediterranean dishes for a burst of concentrated tomato flavor. These are dried up just enough to concentrate them into the flavor that we want. I will lightly pack this into our jar and then cover with olive oil. They'll last for about 2 weeks in the fridge. I love these so much. All right, into the refrigerator these go, where we can have at our disposal umami bombs anytime. Let's finish today with 3% fermented tomatoes. Our last project today is a simple salt ferment, 3% fermented tomatoes. Let's quarter these up. Exposing, or we'll chop them. We're not just gonna quarter them. We're gonna go a little bit more. Exposing the flesh and the seeds and the pockets with all of those juices help create its own tomato brine through fermentation. Okay. Whole rib tomatoes are tossed in 3% salt of its weight. So for this half pound of tomatoes here, I'll add a 1/4 ounce of kosher salt and then packed into a jar for about 3 to 4 weeks, breaking down into this probiotic rich tangy base that can be stored for up to 2 years. Into the jars these go. I'll cover the surface with a small piece of cheesecloth just to help prevent those molds from developing. This is perfect. Lid goes on here, and this gets set aside. Here is a batch that I made last year. Fermented tomatoes act like umami bombs. The natural glutamates in tomatoes combined with the fermentation intensifies savory depth. You can stir it into soups for instant depth. Think Manhattan chowder or Asian style stews. Blend into Bloody Mary bases or marinades, or even ceviche for added acidity. Whether it is vinegar that lasts forever, wedges that stay good for 2 years, early grilled tomatoes covered in olive oil that lasts for 2 weeks, or fermented tomato base to carry the tomato season through the year. Tomatoes are one of the best and most delicious things to preserve ever, every time. Scan the QR code for more on Golden State Pickleworks, and thank you for joining me on Trying Everything. I will see you next time as we discover what else the harvest has to offer.